Perlmutter. Good to see you.
If only the feeling were mutual.
So, when was she killed?
Well, based on liver temp last night between 10 and 11 p.m. The bigger issue is how she was killed. Now, I believe death came by way of this rather fascinating small diameter puncture to her heart.
It's a stab wound.
Oh, Castle, think, how would that explain the first-degree burns on the skin around the wound?
Well, that could be powder burns from a close-range gunshot.
Yeah, but the burn should have gunpowder stippling, particulates seared into the flesh. Not only that, there would be blood spatter.
So what caused the wound?
No clue. Never seen anything quite like it. I should know more once I get her on the slab.
Perlmutter?
Detective Beckett.
Perlmutter.
And I'm Detective Castle.
So, do you have a cause of death?
It was a burn. A burn that penetrated tissue, muscle, and bone, leaving this perfectly cylindrical hole.
Well, what kind of burn does that?
Well, one created by high levels of infrared radiation. The blood vessels were cauterized from the intense heat.
Are you saying...
She was killed by a phaser?
Well, as much as it pains me, Mr. Castle is largely correct. She was killed by a high-intensity laser beam.
A real sci-fi murder.
At a sci-fi convention.
This keeps getting better.
Victim's blood panels came back.
Let me guess. Drugs.
Nope. This was one clean, living rock star. In fact, it's not what he put in his body, it's what he didn't. James had no antibodies for polio.
He never had the polio vaccine.
Well, everyone born since the early 1960s got that vaccine.
That's what I thought. He also had no antibodies for tetanus, measles, whooping cough, all standard immunizations.
What else?
Isn't that enough?
Lainey, usually if you have something like this for me, just call me over the phone.
Well, I thought it was worth the trip.
Detective Beckett. And Defective Castle.
So, Perlmutter, how was Val Butler killed?
It appears she died of heart failure.
At 27?
Did she have heart problems?
Well, she certainly did once it stopped beating.
What made it stop? Is it possible that she was poisoned or OD'd on drugs?
Nothing showed up on her blood panels.
What about what caused her,
Well, post-mortem contractions of the facial muscles are not unheard of.
You don't know what killed her?
I wouldn't say that.
Do you have a theory?
Not at the present time.
That means you don't know. And the only explanation is that Val faced something so scary it stopped her heart and froze her face in the last expression she had. Terror. Admit it.
All I'll say, Mr. Castle, is that for now, cause of death is unknown.
Unknown. Hear that? Not good.
What are you doing?
Checking my bucket list. So many things I can get done in 2 days. Can either one of you introduce me to Bill Shatner?
Let me caution you. This is not for the faint of heart.
For once, I agree with you.
What did this to her?
Could be anything from a crowbar to a box cutter. But they look like claw marks. I just can't tell what kind.
If it was an animal, wouldn't there be bite marks?
I might not find them until I do a complete exam and determine the exact cause of death.
Given the fact that we don't have a crime scene, is there any indication of where she was attacked?
No, but I can't tell you when. Based on the inflammation, I'd say the victim sustained her injuries 5 to 6 hours before she died.
While we figure out who she is, we'll find out how she wound up this way. Hey, Lainey, what's up?
Your cause of death. The poison was a chemically synthesized weaponized agent similar to the organic compound saxitoxin.
Saxitoxin?
Mm-hmm. It usually occurs in shellfish, but not this version. Whoever created this had access to a pretty sophisticated lab, and this one's been supercharged. Speaking of supercharged, is it true that you're with Eric Vaughn? I mean, Kate, I know you love Castle and all, but girlfriend?
Bye, Lainey.
Hi. Hello there, Lainey. I'm Eric Vaughn, and I think you're absolutely ravishing. I'm running further tests, but all I can say for sure is that it was some sort of paralyzing agent. Speaking of paralyzing agent, can I just say Eric Vaughn?
See, Castle? Look, he's on everybody's list.
Yes, he's quite impressive.
And handsome.
And don't forget Rich and that accent. Oh, honey.
All right, okay. I admit, all right? Just as lesser men aspire to be me, he's who the me's of the world aspire to be, okay? But that is not going to help us solve Arthur Felder's murder, finding out what he was poisoned with, Will.
Well, I can tell you this. Whatever the poison was chemically synthesized and incredibly fast acting. The mushrooms he was eating never even made it to his stomach. I was able to place time of death between 12 midnight and 1 a.m. Oh, and I found traces of creosote under her fingernails, which is probably meaningless since the boiler room is right next to the laundry room, and it could have gotten on her hands when she went down there. But that's not why you're here, is it? Okay. What's wrong?
Nothing. Yet. Lainey, if you had the opportunity to do something that you wanted to do, but it would mean that everything in your life might change, would you take it?
Well, it depends. How good is the opportunity?
Great. Really, really great. But the job's in D.C.
And you're worried about Castle?
I mean, we're in this relationship, but we never talk about where we're going. And that's okay right now. It's just... But if I get that job...
Then you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not such a bad thing.
Yeah, but what if it is? Hey, Castle. Yeah, no, I just wanted to get an early start on the day. I didn't want to wake you up. Okay, all right, I'll meet you there.
He's not your killer.
What do you mean?
I mean, time of death was between midnight and 2 a.m. Doyle wasn't released from psychiatric hold until 4 a.m. It can't be him.
No, it has to be him. He was stalking her, and he was at the crime scene.
Yeah, hours after she was dead. In fact, time of death is probably closer to 1 a.m.
How can you tell that?
Her watch. It stopped at 12:58, probably from one of the electric shocks.
May I? 12:58. Did you just get a chill?
No, Castle, I didn't just get a chill. Do you want to know why? Because Doyle was at that crime scene, and he had plenty of time to change her watch to fit his delusional story. And just because he wasn't there when she was being murdered, it doesn't mean he's not involved somehow.
There's something else. Shauna was with someone the night she was killed. Once I cleaned the blood from the body, I saw these on her neck.
Is that lipstick?
Mm-hmm.
She was with a woman.
Yes, Professor, I understand. Okay. Bye.
What do you say?
It's not enough.
But we know someone else wiped down the doorknob.
Yeah, but he says you can't build a case based on evidence that isn't there.
It's Beckett. Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Not so good. We'd be grasping at straws if we had any.
Well, I might have one for you. I went to the Trace lab last night. Their people wouldn't run your case evidence, but I found someone else that would.
Who?
It's Lainey. Put me on speaker.
Yeah, you're on.
Alexis, why on earth wouldn't you come to me directly?
Lainey, I didn't know you could do...
She convinced a contact at the lab to run evidence after hours.
Now, we retested every swab taken from Kim's body 15 years ago. Everything listed in Pennsylvania's report came out in our report. With the exception of one thing, we found trace amounts of ammonium nitrate that their lab never picked up.
Ammonium nitrate?
It's an oxidizing agent commonly found in cold packs, explosives, fertilizer.
Fertilizer. Wait, Lau Gomez, Kim's ex-boyfriend. He used to work at a gardening store. Dad, it's him. That's why he wouldn't speak with us. We have to go talk to him.
Wait a minute. If you guys think someone out there is involved, then you need to get a hold of the police.
Yeah, I don't think the police are going to be of much help around here.
Castle, if he's your killer, he's dangerous. I can't help you if something happens.
Look, Beckett, Frank Henson has 2 days to live. This is our only lead. What else are we supposed to do? His face,
The way he cut his hair, now he's trying to talk like me too? What kind of sicko is doing this?
I went through every case we worked on. Nothing jumped out.
Yeah, not for me either. There's gotta be something personal. There's gotta be someone who knows about our relationship.
Oh, whoever he is, he's a freak. He made Daniel Santos suffer. Look at the bleeding underneath the skin. That wire bit into his neck for hours before he died. The killer used that fishing reel to kill him slowly. So who is he gonna go after now? You and me, some version of Ryan and Beckett? What if this is just the beginning?
It'll be okay. I promise. I won't let anything happen to you.
Yeah? What if something happens to you? Still no ID, and he's not in any missing persons report.
We get a match on the bullet?
It's not in the system, but the cause of death was definitely a GSW to the head. No smoke in the lungs, so he was already dead before the fire got going.
Well, beats getting roasted alive.
I'm right there with you. Also, he was healthy, muscular, his teeth were in good shape, so he probably wasn't homeless. Plus, he had great medical care.
How can you tell?
He had a fractured leg that was splinted with metal plates and screws. Quality work, too.
Can the plate be traced?
I'm already on it. Ted had a coin in his right sock. Due to rigor mortis, an impression remained, including these faint markings. You see that?
Yeah. Wow. Hey, Castle. You with us?
Yeah, of course.
Let me get this straight. So, after Ted was shot, the killer took the sock, grabbed the coin, and then put the shoe and sock back on?
Must have been a valuable coin.
Actually, it wasn't. I did some enhancement, and based on the coin's diameter and the markings, we've identified it as an Iranian real, worth less than a penny.
Wow, an Iranian real, huh? Castle? No theories on international intrigue or covert espionage?
We really don't have the information to speculate at this point.
Okay. Were you able to narrow down where Ted was killed?
No, but I did check his stomach contents, and I can tell you this. Approximately 15 minutes before his death, Ted ate clams and funnel cake. Can you believe that? Ugh.
Lainey, you slice open dead people for a living, and you're grossed out by that.
Even I have my limits.
Okay, fine. Clams and funnel cake. That sounds like he had amusement park food.
Right, and the hydraulic fluid and red paint on Ted's clothes? He was at an amusement park, and I can tell you which one.
How?
Well, as a connoisseur of carny food, there's only one amusement park that has both fried clams and funnel cake, and that park is
Coney Island.
Okay, you two creep me out when you do that shared brain thing. Still no indication of defensive wounds, but I did find this when I checked his nails for DNA.
Numbers. 723598.
He wrote it in pen, I'd say 4 or 5 days ago, but that's not why I called you. Look at this.
Look at what?
It's subtle. So subtle I almost missed it, but I think it explains why his shirt was ripped open. You see these bands?
Yeah?
It's adhesive residue. In fact, there's a residue pattern from his belly to his chest.
Adhesive?
Mm-hmm. Looking at the pattern, I'd say your Wall Street wolf was wearing a wire.
All right, so where is Vince, huh?
He's in here.
Just hope Lainey did her part.
Whoa!
She did her part, all right.
Honey, spin around, show me that caboose.
You keep dreaming, mister.
What is she wearing? I said 70s, not Pam Grier.
The only 70s outfit she had was her foxy brown Halloween costume.
Come on, baby. Once you go white, nothing else seems right.
I'd rather be dead than end up in your bed, jive turkey.
Okay, that's enough. Dr. Parrish?
She's a doctor, too. Whoa, that means she sure knows her way around.
Well?
Harold? We kept our end of the bargain.
Was there anything else on him? Any of his stuff?
A pinky ring, a watch, and this. It's one of those pressed pennies from Coney Island.
You said that you talked to us.
Vince always carried that coin Seeing him there, I don't know. It just hit me that he's really gone.
Harold, we know this is hard. We need you to help us.
Get down! Get down!